In order to discuss more about the holiday of Shavuot, joining me here in studio are Yos Baruch from the Shewhart Institute and Dan Herman from Bina, the Jewish Movement for Social Change. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in. What do you think is the main message or theme in the holiday of Shavuot?
Well, I tend to think of Jewish holidays as questions that demand answers. Every holiday has its own question. Pesach is about the question of freedom, and Shavuot is about the question of Torah. What is Torah for me? What is receiving Torah for me? What is my portion of the Torah? How do I connect to that Torah? That can be relevant for secular Jews, Haredi Jews. They will all have different answer for that question. But the idea, and it's an idea of renewal, is that the Torah is something that we keep relating to every year of our lives and every generations of our national life. So that is the meaning of Shavuot, being open, opening our heart to receive Torah again. That's a renewal process.
What do you think this is about?
I connect to this idea a lot of the Torah as something that's very much shared for all of us, also as a Jewish people, something that we received. And I would add to that also as something that we're constantly recreating. I think the idea of Shavuot as a holiday where we get together and we learn Torah in a broad sense, what's included in that Torah, and how we are constantly creating new Torah that's meaningful for us in the places we are, in our societies, in our communities, in our neighborhoods. And in particular, I think we can connect also to the particular story that takes us on Shavuot, the story of the book of Ruth, and the story of inclusiveness. This idea that Ruth was someone who came from outside of the Israelite community and connected her fate to our people and became accepted within them. That's a question that we're constantly asking ourselves in Jewish communities around the world today. Who is part of us? Who is included and who isn't? And Ruth, of course, became the great-grandmother of King David. The mosaic, the diversity within our roots, and that inclusiveness, I think, is also an important theme of Shavuot.
That's very interesting, because we do in Judaism have these questions, as you say, even in modern age, even today. Who is a Jew? What kind of Jew? What kind of sect in Judaism is Jewish enough? So you say that this dates back to the story of Ruth.
We have examples of when in Jewish communities, when we're trying to say someone Jewish enough. In Israel, this is something that's constantly has relevance. Who qualifies as a Jew to get married here, to become a citizen here? In the United States, who I marry is a significant statement of who I am as a Jew. And in Ruth, which is part of the Tanakh, and we have this example of Jews who leave the land of Israel, who go to another place, who meet people from the local community, who fall in love with them, who marry them, and who create these important connections that go past our own people and beyond the Jewish community, and ultimately that enriches our people, that gave rise to the legendary king of the Jewish people, of King David. And it's important to remember those examples as well in defining the values of who we are as a people today.
So that is the question of the gateways leading into Judaism, and how do we keep these gates significant also for the incomer, but also open in a way. So it's a question of how do we welcome people who feel like they are part of our community and they want to be a part of our community, of our Jewish community, of our Jewish beliefs, and how do we welcome them in? And we see that the ancient approach, as you mentioned, the ancient approach to welcoming people into Judaism has to do a lot about their choice and their willingness to be a part and live with us and share a common destiny. And you see that Ruth, she didn't have an easy life getting into Judaism. It wasn't like an economical opportunity or something like that. She was willing to pay a price to live with an old woman who was very poor, to go to the fields and collect food.
I'd like to ask you, Yossi, you just came back from Canada, I hear. Can you tell us a little bit about how Shavuot is celebrated there or in the diaspora in general?
What I saw in the preparations for Shavuot in Canada is that they, in Toronto Bethesda congregation, they're trying to build two programs, like one program for younger kids that they'll have a late stayover So they stay, they learn in school, they have a kids program, and then they stay over with their friends. And in a way, that's how the kids when they were assembled together, they don't go to sleep usually. So in a stay over, and then they stay over, and it's kind of preparing them for the adult Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which is kind of similar to what's happening in Israel. A lot of studying, a lot of lectures, a lot of talk into the night.
Mm-hmm. And just a few words about this evening of Tikkun Leil Shavuot.
So Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which in Binan we have Tikkun Leil Shavuot in 4 different places around Israel, in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Beersheba, and Haifa, as well as in Palo Alto, California, starting this year, as a secular Tikkun Leil Shavuot, a place where we can connect with Torah as secular Jews, because the text belongs to all of us as well, and that's a central part of how we observe the holiday.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you both for coming in and sharing your input.
Excellent.
We're going to take a short break, but please don't go anywhere. We have much more coming up for you here on Holy Land Uncovered.